Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Everyone checking in on the markets, feeling a little bit off yesterday, so taking extra precaution to rest. Normally, I would be out working in the yard and not caring at all because it's not significant, but in these times, it's best to be taking extra precaution. But feeling better today, and the S&P 500 bulls showed up in a big way. It started off with the reaction to the jobs numbers this morning. My completely random guess was 3 million as to what I was looking for the market to anticipate. So the way I was viewing it as over 3 million bearish, under 3 million bullish. In the end, it was just over 3 million as the result, and the market found that very bullish. You can see a dump into the report, and then the report comes out, and it was just a rocket ship. And then from there, the bulls had complete control. We lost the 5-minute uptrend, and at that point, we zoom out to the hourly, and we say, okay, this looks like an hourly bull flag. If we regain the 5-minute trend quickly, which we did right here with the higher low and higher high, then the odds of a daily bull flag continue significantly. Had about $7 billion of MOC here at the close, and that was a rocket ship of a $4 move, and so we closed strong. So at this point, the daily bounce is very significant. The move off of the low. And keep in mind a couple things. Number one, we had a bounce in the Great Depression. We had a dump of 45%, a bounce of 45%, and then next thing you know, a year later, we are down 80% in the market. So this move doesn't mean the bottom is in. It could be in, but it doesn't mean the bottom is in. So just keep that in the back of your mind. We haven't changed the daily trend yet. That's going to increase the odds that a bottom is being set. But just remember that if we do see longer term economic impact, that this could play out significantly. We also have certainly not peaked by any means in the US in terms of corona cases. And it's just going to be a battle between whether or not the unlimited QE from the Fed can offset all of this. And at least in the short term, it certainly has. So at this point, I have scaled into 2 of 6 long-term positions, and I'm not going to be making any other entries on the way up. I will maybe make another entry for a daily higher low once we top out. But again, going to be conservative because we could very easily see a weekly bounce, form a lower high, and then drop to a lower low. I feel that the size of the bounce will give us at least a tightening range. So let's say we bounce, we set a weekly lower high. I do feel we would at least hold the low initially and tighten up. But just keep in mind all perspectives. I see a lot of people that are team bull and team bear, and that is their mindset, and it's ingrained. And in my opinion, that's a great way to leave a lot of opportunity on the table and to have a bit of a skewed picture. And it's also a way to skew your technical analysis perspective. So if my suggestion is stay as open as possible. Could that be the bottom? And could we head back to all-time highs within a year? Yes. Could that be an oversold bounce that sets a weekly lower high and we drop down under 2,000? Yes. If you have those as both possibilities and you take it one day at a time, because every single day we're getting new information, both as far as news and technical analysis and data from price action and volume, in my opinion, staying unattached, because as soon as you get attached to one side, bull or bear, your emotions start to get involved. And we want to avoid that. So it's a very significant bounce. When we lose the hourly uptrend, we will look for daily consolidation. Let's just pull up SPY for this hourly uptrend. And our most recent high or low is 254.82. So anything above 254.82 is an hourly high or low, keeping the bulls in control. If we lose that level tomorrow, that will increase the odds a good bit that the top of the bounce may have been set. Once we start pulling back from the top of the bounce, we're going to look for a daily high or low to form. There's going to be a good number of bulls that are saying, oh man, I missed the bounce. And they're going to be looking to enter on that higher low. There's also going to be a good number of bears saying, all right, bulls have used up all their buying power. I'm looking for an entry here in the short term. Just have stops on any game plan that you establish, because I promise there are bears right now that are shocked at the size of this bounce. And there may be bulls in a couple weeks that are shocked if we drop to lower lows. So hourly, trend on all individual names is our guide. As long as that is intact, the top of the bounces have not been set. And we are at the point now where we extended enough where I'm keeping an eye out for bearish entries, especially if we start tomorrow green. So if we start tomorrow green, we'll be watching the 4-hour RSI approaching the 70 level for the first time since the dump. And it's just a scenario where I'm going to be viewing the risk and reward to be more favorable as a bear. But it all depends on what the pre-market setup is going into tomorrow, because that's going to determine a whole lot. So looking at IWM, again, significant bounce off the low. All of these names are going to have to see a daily higher low and higher high to confirm a trend change and for us to believe that this move can have significant follow through. Plenty of space for a higher low to form. When we lose the hourly uptrend, most recent higher low, 113.88. When we lose the hourly uptrend, we will look for a daily higher low to form compared to 95.91. QQQ, significant bull move, hourly higher low, and most important short-term support is 186.68. And when we lose it and we start daily consolidation, we'll look for a daily higher low compared to 164.93. XLF, after being the weight of the S&P 500 to the downside, has seen a massive bounce at this point, 24% in just a few days, again getting a bit overextended, which is why I will be having an eye as a bear into tomorrow. Hourly higher low of support, 21.08. And when we top out, we're going to look for a daily higher low compared to 17.49. XLV, monster bounce. Hourly higher low, key short-term support, 84.46. You can see everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's an hourly bull flag. Strong move at the end of the day. When we lose the hourly uptrend and we watch for daily consolidation, we'll look for a higher low to form compared to 73.54. XBI changed its daily trend already. The only sector out of everybody that we just looked at who has done that so far. So a very notable daily trend change. As soon as you change the daily trend, I zoom out and look at the weekly. So the weekly bounce is very clearly underway for XBI. And if we look at other names like QQQ, the weekly bounce is underway as well. I still focus on the daily time frame until the trend changes. Then I start focusing on the weekly once it does. So for XBI, we are looking for a weekly lower high to form. And again, if we get significant follow through from here, let's say we get another green day or two, and that's entirely possible. So I have a bear lean heading into tomorrow, and that's what I'm going to be looking for short-term trades. But I'm not going to constantly be fighting the bulls, but I'm going to be watching for the potential of a weekly equilibrium being the result of this V-shaped bounce, where we may see volatility start to drop off into April, and we may see tightening ranges into April. SMH, very notable bounce. Hourly higher low, keeping the bulls in control at 118.45. And if we lose the hourly uptrend, we look for a daily higher low. There was a little support here, 99.92, a very brief little higher low. XBI, the hourly higher low that we didn't look at here. Keeping an eye out, let's see, 76.29. If we still had trading going on today, I'd be watching for the potential of a head and shoulders pattern here. With our left shoulder, head, if we fail to break the high and roll over and break that higher low of 76.29, it's an hourly head and shoulders pattern confirming a temporary top being set. So we'll see what tomorrow's setup is for that potential head and shoulders. TLT, still keeping that pattern of a higher low every single day for 6 days in a row now. If we break 162.27 tomorrow, that pattern breaks, and we look for the daily higher low with tons of space above 139.01. Have not changed the daily trend yet. Massive bounce, just like many other names. Gold has not topped out just yet. Little double bottom, 1596, 1597. So again, every single day is a higher low the last few days. Until that pattern breaks, we have not topped out on this move yet. The 4-hour time frame, we had a little higher low of 1597. There's that double bottom. If we break that double bottom, and it's a bit of a double top, we did get a bull break, but only by $4. So we can view this as a double top and a double bottom. We're going to have to see a clear break of 1596 for daily consolidation to be underway. If we do, I do believe there will be bulls looking to buy that daily higher low that missed the initial move. And again, that is my mindset in the markets as well. Once we do pull back for a day or two and look for a daily higher low to form, I do believe there's going to be bulls that missed this move looking for a higher low. Silver has not topped out just yet. Daily inside bar today. If we break that inside bar bearish tomorrow, 1416 support, daily consolidation underway to look for the higher low. And the miners changed their daily trend. So GDX had that higher low and higher high. The bull break was only brief on Tuesday. Followed through yesterday, a little bit more followed through today, just slow and steady, little higher lows and higher highs. So again, the daily trend has changed, so I zoom out to the weekly. What's the most likely scenario? A V-shaped recovery and a higher high over 3184? Or is a more likely scenario a lower high and tightening weekly range through April or into April? For me, a lower high is the more likely scenario. So that has my bigger picture perspective, and then I zoom into the shorter term time frames and I look for details that tell me that is indeed what is happening. And at this point, we would have to lose the daily uptrend to be real confident that a weekly lower high has been set. And as of right now, anything above 1929 is a daily higher low. So just looking at these two charts, I can say a number of things. Number one, the most likely scenario is a weekly lower high for me. Number two, the next time we consolidate on the daily time frame, we are likely not going to lose the daily uptrend because of how much space the bulls have to work with. So if I'm sitting here and saying, what's it going to take for a convincing weekly lower high to be set, I'm going to have to see daily consolidation. I'm going to assume a daily higher low is going to form. I'm going to have to see an inability to break the high and then roll over and lose the daily uptrend, which is essentially a head and shoulders pattern to a certain degree. But it all depends on what the consolidation looks like, because if it's a bull flag, then it'll be different. So that's just thinking aloud in terms of how I use different time frames and how I gauge most likely scenarios. Oil, still watching this 12-hour equilibrium. The S&P 500 bulls are very, very pleased that they have seen this 3-day bull move without oil helping. If oil sees a bear break of 2078 and 2004, it can be a bit of a weight on the overall markets. It could help daily consolidation take place. If we get a bull break from here and resistance is 25.20, if the bulls are able to get over that level, it'll be a bull break of the 12-hour time frame, and that could potentially make daily consolidation for stocks a little bit less significant. So we're going to be continuing to watch any correlation there. Certainly the correlation has broken the last couple of days, but still keeping an eye on what oil's going to do, because we've been tightening up in this pattern for the last 8 days now, and a break will be imminent. Probably, well, could be Sunday night with futures opening up. If we form a higher low tomorrow and start to see a little bounce, there's still plenty of range within this pattern. I would say early next week, we're going to be looking for a break. Natural gas, top of the daily bounce has been set. Daily exponential resistance. We broke the pattern of a higher low each day. We lost the 4-hour uptrend, I'm assuming. So daily consolidation is underway, and we're looking for a higher low compared to 1524. So this is a little glimpse into the future, potentially, of what we're going to be looking for on SPY and other names. Yes, there's a couple more green candles mixed in there, but we're going to be looking for the same thing. A top out, a pullback for a higher low to try and form, and then we'll gauge what the consolidation looks like. And that's why, going back to my beginning point, to wrap it up, every single day gives us more information. If we see increasing bear volume and a pullback for a daily level, let's say 2 days, we pull back to 240. That's going to be a much different scenario than if tomorrow we see another higher high or an inside bar. It's just the way we consolidate tells us how strong the bulls or the bears are, and it helps guide us in the short term. So again, another thing, I never understand why people pick targets and then set to it and don't adjust based on price action, because we learn so much every single day about what the most likely scenario is. To close our eyes and cover our ears to that information seems silly. We might as well utilize it if it's there for us. So hourly uptrend is the most important in the short term. When we lose the hourly uptrend, the odds of our daily tops being set increase a good bit. And not only losing the uptrend, but if we then see, let's try that again. So we're in an hourly uptrend. Let's say we lose it tomorrow. That's the start. That's signal number one for potential daily consolidation. And then if you confirm the hourly downtrend with a lower high and lower low, then you know we're in daily consolidation. So these are all things we're going to be looking for. Again, a bearish lean because of how much we bounced in the last few days, but the pre-market setup and establishing a clear low risk, high reward scenario to be looking for some bearish entries is what I'm going to be doing tomorrow morning. And again, I'm going to have more information at 8 a.m. If we gap up to 265, it's a much different scenario than if we see a lower open at 257. So I will establish my game plan tomorrow morning. Hope you all are doing well. Congrats to the Bulls. Bears starting to lick their chops for another opportunity. If the Bulls really want to prove some strength here, quick little daily higher low and continuation into next week will have a lasting impact. And another thing, do not forget that these markets are virtual numbers floating in cyberspace. Let that sink in. We could have the market rip to all-time highs with coronavirus going on and with GDP lower and with unemployment up. Just be aware that price action on these cyberspace numbers can detach from reality. I see it happen all the time on massive bull moves, whether it's crypto or the MJ space. Just be aware that reality and these price levels and these candlesticks do not always line up. Have a good day. Do good things. We'll see you soon. You ever had a bear step on your radish sprouts? These big paw prints are from a bear who came and checked out all the bird feeders. Unfortunately, my wild cam wasn't set up yet, but those are all ready to go now, so we'll see if he comes back. He was interested in the bird feeder, and I left this open, so I won't be doing that again. Some beet sprouts are coming up. They took a while to germinate. Really excited for these sugar snap peas. They're one of my favorite spring snacks. They're one of the first things that's ready in the garden, along with radishes. And it's just something great to have while you're working in the garden, to go grab a couple handfuls, and very juicy and sweet and hydrating. So this is from the fall garden that I just kind of gave up on because I was traveling, and some nights it got down into the teens at night and they stayed just fine. So these are arugula that are now bolting and going to flower. So I figured I'll let them do their things for some pollinators. And this kale has just survived in a big way. So definitely going to do a better job with a fall and winter garden in the greenhouse this coming year. But this obviously shows me that these plants can do just fine in this climate. And there's a whole bunch more chickweed. Again, didn't plant it. It just knows right where to go. All my rows of lettuce are coming up. Definitely seeded them thickly, which means I will have to thin them out once they get a little bit bigger. And planted a whole bunch of some of these foreign plants. All kinds of weird spinach and lettuce from around the world. Should be cool to see them grow. Raspberry plant starting to put all its new growth out from its base.